low, and but
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you got. I mean, you
gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. More important than any one particular class or whatever.
Yeah.
Wisdom teeth. Does everyone get their wisdom teeth taken out, or is it? I mean, I had mine taken out, but I didn't know if it's like. I mean, I was a teenager and nobody really asked me what did I want.
Right.
Like, okay, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, I think I've been told that it's optional. If they don't bother you, then they're not bothering you. So I never got them out. And people usually get them out 15, 16 years old. My grandmother has them, my mom has them. So I'm like, okay, this is just what we do. We have them. But they hurt, so.
People of a certain class who can afford healthcare get them taken out at that age, but not every class gets them taken out because it's a privilege.
That's true. It is a privilege. Actually, this oral surgeon that I'm going to just told me that they don't accept insurance. It's such a crazy thing to have to go afterwards and case insurance. But anyway,
especially complex surgery like teeth removal. Yeah. I myself am having a problem with it recently, so I can relate. I missed the first minute of the meeting. You're having
a wisdom tooth, and I've never had anything like this done. Like I've never had like a root canal or anything. So my sister-in-law was like, "You have to have general anesthesia for that. Then you can't handle it." Like, that sounds severe, but we'll see.
How's everything going with everybody?
I was out in Penelope when they just put me out, and then I woke up. And it was hours later, of course, but I had no awareness of passage of time or anything. Actually, it's the same for you.
Yeah, that sounds like a nice break from my day anyway.
Nice, peaceful, running through sleep.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh, I don't do well with anesthesia either. So, Raphael, I think that you're going to be on your own for a little today helping Naomi and Amy. I have to run out to this community of practice fellowship thing from 2 to 3, and I updated the schedule in Canvas, but it's also updated on the timeline. There's now a new tab. I'm reluctant to delete the last tab. I'm not sure why. I think we could probably get rid of it soon.
Hold on, I want to clarify something. I'm confused, and I keep getting left out or confused by changes. We made two versions of the structure module, is that what you're changing now, Penelope? You're getting rid of the
the one that we made on Friday altogether?
You're getting rid of the first one.
Well, I haven't done it yet.
Oh, okay.
But it's not relevant anymore, I think, so.
Yeah, the new one is the new one. Yeah.
Yeah, so do you think we can delete the old one?
Yeah, we should, because it'll be very confusing. Yeah, absolutely. Get rid of it. I mean, nothing in it that was used. Everything that was used is preserved. So.
Worried about deleting it.
But what I was trying to get at is I followed up with Naomi very recently, and that I will be there today if needed. I didn't know what. So we had a long meeting, Adam and Raphael, on Friday with Amy and Naomi. We have a great schedule this week. It looks like most of the tech stuff is going to happen next week. We might introduce the camera at the end of class on Wednesday, the RealSense camera, as a motion tracking tool, but I still am unclear if we're going to have time for that. Naomi seemed to say that we will, but basically all I was saying was today and Wednesday, I'm going to only be there for half the class because it looks like we're mostly doing lecture-based material, not any technical material.
Yeah, so it looks like, Raphael, the only thing that I guess you could help with, it would be helpful for Naomi, is at 2:30 to make those 6 breakout rooms. Just ask the students to, if they won't need their second Zoom open today, and sometimes that makes the breakout rooms a little difficult to create. So just tell them to turn it off from the beginning, I would say.
Because this is the complex breakout room thing too, Penelope. I don't know if Raphael and Adam are totally. We did it last Monday in our meeting.
No, this is not that.
This is not that today. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's on Wednesday. But this is just when they're going to play with that P5JS.
Oh, that one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was the other thing I was going to ask. Like, we were like trying Calculus today, and maybe next class as well. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So there's links there. It should be straightforward. I guess if you can go around and help, I think you can help with that if anyone needs anything. It's pretty simple.
Yep. I did that before.
Okay. And that's it. So the idea, if you've seen Raphael, just to go over it, is that
Yeah,
you there? Yeah. So Naomi's going to lecture. They're going to play. They're sort of just going to make a scene with the steering and the angular control that they like. It's just sort of like a dance kind of thing where they see these beacons moving around. I mean, they have the beacon, the arrows moving around, and then they're going to verbalize what they see, and then Amy's going to teach them just dance notation language, and then they're going to revisit it and try to describe it with dance notation language. That's it.
Yeah, can I remind myself, Penelope, because I think you're going to help me articulate this. So today there's no movement Zoom at all.
Oh, you mean the what we were doing? And no, that's on Wednesday.
So am I wrong to think that we had initially had it on both days? Kind of. No, we never did. Okay. So there's no Zoom imitation game today. Okay, it's all Wednesday. Okay.
Right.
Great.
So is there a link for this steering lab?
It's right there.
No.
Isn't it D and E?
Oh yeah, I see it. Sorry.
No, I know Naomi couldn't find it either. And for the students, it's listed in the schedule for the module, but it would be easy if you put it in the chat too. At that time.
Yeah. So it's okay. So we're gonna paste both links in the chat, and they're gonna play with both exercises, and then they're gonna come back and then write what they did.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I actually have to add the Google slide to somewhere in the Canvas module too, so that they know where to write about it.
They're going to write it in the slide?
Yeah, just so that there's a shared document so this is here.
The sharing permissions are editable for everybody, I assume? You did that? Or?
I did that, but it would be great if you check, because sometimes
it's hard to know if it does it or not. Yeah, it does it and it doesn't do it. I'll double check it. This is the blue link right in the post layperson language. Steering lab notation, and it's empty.
It's empty because
that's the purpose of it. Okay,
yeah.
Okay, great. And
just a place for them to chat about it.
Yeah,
I mean,
got it.
The easiest thing would probably be for them to
make
put it on Canvas, but then this is also pretty easy.
Are we going to have my experience, the best part about slides versus docs is that you can edit stuff without it cascading everything else that's edited. So are we going to have like a slide per breakout room?
Yeah. So
would that make sense? Okay.
Yeah, we can make that right now.
I'll just do it really fast. I'm on it. It doesn't matter.
Great.
So there's like how many breakout rooms?
6.
Got it.
Thank you. And they haven't all posted their shell crushers. Only 3 people. I'm going to send them a reminder right now.
In your reminder, would you also add that they can show the RealSense video if they want to, or post a link to it? Like, literally, actually, hold on, because I wasn't coordinating with you on that notification Friday. I don't know if everybody. You were asking for a photo or a video or either in your...
Let me go read my announcement.
I think we were a little unclear in the class because I was trying to get them to do the RealSense capture, which they can't necessarily easily share with you unless they also took a photo, or an iPhone video.
Do you think it's practical because they have 15 minutes to show videos? It could be.
Well, it's practical like we've done it in the past for 3 to 4 people. If we want everybody to show it, then they have to submit it to something for us to review, which is a good point to bring up today, because I do want to talk about that with Adam and who is Naomi going to come, do you think?
I'm not sure.
Because Sigrid said she couldn't, but she said she might, or she said she couldn't at all. I guess she's not at all. I thought she was going to come for a little bit.
It was my impression Sigrid wasn't going to be able to make it today. because of her kids coming home from school right at that time.
Yeah, she said I might not, but I guess that means she will not. Well, anyway, all I was getting to, Adam, is that we were, Adam, would you mind telling me if you can also log into the blog really easy? Have you tried to do it yet?
No, I haven't tried. Forgive me for, can you give me a quick pointer as to what to search for to know where to go?
Yeah, so I put it in the syllabus, which is, I can send it to you right away. It's in our weekly schedule. The first link is the syllabus link, and then the first thing in that link is the Canvas link, and then the WordPress site. And I'm also emailing it to you again right now as a link in Outlook, okay? Because I'm not on my Zoom chat on this computer. And the reason I'm bringing this up, I hate Penelope. I'm sorry if I didn't mean to say I hate Penelope. I said, I'm sorry. I hate to distract us, Penelope, if you were saying something. All I was going to do was move on to the conversation we touched on briefly on Friday for a minute about evaluation of mini challenges. But did you have something else about the slides?
I just want to put this,
Go
I'm going
ahead.
to post this because I'm going to say, please post photos or videos of your models. What would they bring in?
Oh, here's what I'm going to say. If you don't mind, let me send you a. Did you say post them in the Canvas? Is what you did on No,
there's a slide deck there. There's a link.
Oh, okay. What I was going to say too is I can quickly send you a folder, a Google Drive folder. They could also upload their video to, because they won't be able to upload their video to a slide deck from the RealSense camera, but they will be able to upload it to a folder. Is that a good idea?
Photos of your models along with their stats in the slide, or upload your video taken with RealSense to this folder.
Exactly. So I'm going to send you that link right now in your email,
Just put
okay?
it in the chat.
I'm not on the same computer as my chat, so I can't really do that. So I got a little, actually, I stopped doing, wait a second. Now I'm going to go back to the other email, and then I'm going to send you that email. Okay, so this email is blog for documentation.
So anyway, the conversation that Daniel wanted to have regarding assessment, we should have it. Adam, do you think that they should have some feedback before the break?
Adam, our conversation was principally about, like, we haven't asked them to submit documentation for for example, we didn't get photos of everybody's lighting test from Jane. We didn't get necessarily like a video of their cloth simulation. We don't have, documentation of each mini challenge because we looked at them in class, but we only had like the blog post as the first demo. I showed them how to upload a WebGL the first week, but I was thinking that for midterms, I've never taught at Princeton or been at Princeton. If we have midterms, we ought to ask them to upload like a screenshot or a screen recording or some documentation of each of their mini challenges for each module. That's my proposal. I don't know if we should do that.
I think, just to clarify, when you say for midterms, are you thinking because we need to sort of have a midterm grade?
Because I don't know if we do or not.
Right. So the only thing that we really need to do is we need to identify if there's someone who's in danger of not completing, like failing the course or is like in jeopardy. It's I see Hi, Naomi. I see you.
Hi, sorry, I have a big paper deadline today, and I have to prepare for this class today, so.
No worries. No worries.
And congrats on your talk this week, Penelope. I mean, Naomi, that's great. The TED Talk is Friday?
Thursday.
So I think that the only thing that we really need to worry about is making sure that students who are potentially in jeopardy, that we can identify them. I guess there's telling students, like giving students, significant feedback so that they know kind of if they need to, if let's say they were expecting an A and if they're not on track to get an A, they could sort of step up their game. It's kind of nice to give them sort of grading feedback in Canvas or something like that. If this were like, I want to say the typical class, I would feel like that might be more important. In this class, I mean, I'm saying this here, and I wouldn't say this to the students, but my expectation is that basically all the students are going to get an A or maybe an A- if they really were kind of slacking. And it's unusual for students in this kind of class, which is like already pre-selecting a certain level of interest, like you just don't get students in this class who are not going to be engaged in this kind of class. At least in the past, we haven't. And so basically, like, as I recall, Naomi, maybe you correct me if you recall any differently, but I recall that basically all students got an A.
No, not everybody. I think we had. But
I wasn't worried about them posting it for grade. I was interested in them. I like Daniel's idea a lot because I think it's a great moment for them to sort of reflect on how far they've come with tech and understanding what we've shown them so far and putting it together. So sort of like a mini midterm portfolio. That sounds heavier than what it is. I think it would literally just be posting to the blog, probably Daniel, right? If they could do it.
Yeah, I think that the only reason I brought it up was because we haven't all been able to see all the work they've done.
Yeah.
So it's a positive way to like see what they've done and also ensure that they are proud of their work and they document it. And then finally, however they will develop, and that's the way this conversation segues for me, however they will develop their proposal for what we're really grading them on, I think, is their project, right? That's like the big obvious proof of their work. And how they will think about their project, to me, is a lot about how they'll think about documenting it or being able to share it. And that goes back to like having a website that has documentation of it. For me, it's whether or not it's common in this class, I think for the COVID culture, having something online for remote teaching is going to be a common end result, as opposed to them just being on Zoom talking about their project or something,
It just seems like it makes a lot of sense, and I strongly support it when framed this way, that it's about basically learning for them, it's learning how to document their work, and they're doing it early on as a way of kind of developing this practice for later on, because they're going to need to do this for other things in the class too. And so it's just them kind of getting ramped up on essentially, here's documenting my work, and so that seems very sensible. And
like by spring break, maybe.
Yeah, and if the byproduct of that is that I guess I was reacting to the grading aspect of it. I don't really feel like we need to give them grading feedback, so much as sort of feedback on the documentation itself. Like, here's how to document well, and
No, but
we could do a virtual critique of their work right after the spring break too, because it doesn't seem like we'll have time to go through 17 pieces of what they have, but we can at least every single person will have some kind of feedback. Whereas, I think it's every time we've had this show and tell at the beginning, so this will be an opportunity for the quieter voices to get a little bit of discussion about their work. I think it's great.
So then we are kind of agreed that we will draft a kind of plan to the second thing that I was also getting worried about is that I think as a group we want to establish a final project schedule. So whenever we haven't fully defined that in the syllabus, and I guess we want to have that maybe started the conversation today. We probably won't get through that whole conversation in the time we have.
I have to run. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to spend time on it today. I still have to get ready for class.
Naomi, can I touch base with you really quick while we're here?
Going to the dentist. Bye. We have Karen's now.
Take care of yourself, Penelope.
Thank you.
Naomi, I will be there today for the better part of the class because it seems like I am useful. So let me know if you don't have this, but Amy has this. By the way, she does. Yeah.
Show me what's inside. We don't need the egg, right? Because that's for the serum, right?
Well, no. So this is what they got, and then the egg is inside it, and it has stuff for today.
Yeah.
As in, like, this is a little piece of goo that my thinking is that they will be able to use the goo as a very quick way to get the rod to stay flat.
Okay.
They just put the goo on it, and then that stays kind of stuck, you know?
Okay.
And then this is in there, which is a little gripper
Yeah.
that they can put on the top.
Okay.
And then I don't have I sent them all a piece of wood about twice as long as this, and I didn't buy any extras, but Amy has one.
Okay.
So I don't have it, but when you put it on top, it balances
Okay.
on the gripper. Is that kind of what you were thinking?
Yeah, and then there's like a little dowel or something.
This dowel is in the egg too, and then they can practice getting the dowel to be balanced.
Right.
Is that what you wanted?
Yeah, that's fine. And I think, Raphael, you see this too, so he can help me help.
Well, I'll be there, but yeah, I'll be there. So I'll be there for this if you need me. And just so Amy has it, Amy will be there too, right? Maybe we should see if she wants to have hers out. I don't know if you want her to, but
Either way.
Raphael doesn't have this.
I have to get to my slides, and I guess I'll send them to Penelope and she'll post them.
Well, send them to me too, because she's at a dentist. I guess she'll be back from the dentist before class.
You can post them?
I can do it on Canvas if you send it to me, yeah. She's going to a dentist right now, and I think she'll be there till class, so I don't know what her schedule was, but I'll be there at 1:30, and me and Raph will be your point people today.
Okay, right. So we have two sets of slides. One is for the lecture, and then one is for the little steering lab that we'll then do. So there's a Google. So for the steering lab, they're meant to go into their groups and work on the. So Raphael, you weren't here on this, but I wanted just to fill you in. Okay. So I'm giving the first, I think for 15 minutes, we're talking about the structures from last time. And then I'm giving this lecture for 45 minutes that introduces them to feedback in movement. And there's a couple little moments where I pause and have them like close their eyes and stand on one foot, balance, because they're thinking about, balancing, stabilization and movement that way. So then they're also going to balance, this tube on their hand. And then the other balancing is this little seesaw that they're going to build with the dowel. Yeah, they can try other things.
You can have it. You can I didn't want to send everybody a tube because you could go find one in your house probably. But
I'm going to go grab it.
Yeah. But we didn't think the students would necessarily have it. You get paper towel tube, yeah. So.
So I sort of try to mix up some art and some movement, and also because I'm also interested in kinetic sculpture in this module too. So we think about movement of our bodies and also of mechanical design. So then we segue into a little, we're calling it like a steering lab, and then I basically, without using the word differential equation, showing them if they're going to design a little planar mover. Actually, the equations are all in this it's a P5 demo that we used to use. And so they're just going to run it, and it's really to show them how they can play with some of the parameters. Okay, so here it is. There's two. One is it's the XY version, and the other one is like heading. The XY version has you, it's set up right now. If you click on it, it gives you, in fact, I can, let me share the screen. Show it to you.
That would be great. I have it open.
Oh, you do have it open, okay. So,
Do you want me to share my screen or?
whoopsie, I need you to allow Sharon. I think you're the host.
Yeah, there you go.
Can you see this here?
I see it.
Okay, so basically, this has, if I start running it, it's set up, like you can see here, the number of targets is 8, but they can change that. So these are like waypoints. That little red guy is going to move and first head for the first point, and you can put them wherever you want. Okay, so now it reached the first point. Now it's reaching the second point, but there's a mass spring damper between it and the target. In the X direction and the Y direction. That's why it's doing this funny. And so the idea is I'm trying to get them to understand what dials mean from the physics as opposed to being just playing with dials and just seeing what happens. So I give them a little background on what this second order dynamic of a mass spring damper system looks like and how these gains. So this is what the acceleration looks like. It's, K times the target position X coordinate and its own position, and then another gain. So this is like the damping, and this is the spring constant, right? And there's one in the X direction. There's an independent one in the Y direction, and so they can control all those 4 parameters, right? So, for example, here's one where I just messed with it. So I made it much like I upped the damping and I decreased stiffness a little bit, right? So yeah, it behaves different. It's much more direct. It just needs to get it nearby, right? So I have this little steering lab where I show them how these Ks relate to so that like when it's overdamped or underdamped and critically damped, I do all the versions so they can see oscillations.
And then it was telling me that like we would break them into breakout rooms and then put them into breakout rooms and then they would write and describe what they saw.
Well, I think what I'd like to have them do. So there's another version of this which I actually like better. Let me see if I can get it out.
Is that the one in the Excel sheet? Yeah, the other one there.
Yeah. So here's the other one. So now there's only one mass spring damper system, and it's like torsional. So it's now they're heading here, but it's their heading direction. They're moving at a constant speed, and it's their angle. their driving steering direction changes like a second order differential equation. And here's like this is kind of, it's a little bit easier because now you just have one. Okay, so now this is, so it's wiggly a little bit, right? Ooh, oh, so sometimes it can break. Like sometimes it cannot get within a radius of and move on. Sometimes it gets stuck in a loop and it just circles. It's just kind of fun too. See, these just, some of the, yes, I like this too because there's so much variety in what happens, right? Sometimes it just passes right through it, right? And sometimes it does something really pretty. And then, but you can, of course, play with these. You can play with, this is just like the radius of these circles themselves. Oh, no, I think that might be the radius that determines whether you've met the target or not. I forget. I'm sorry, I forget. There used to be sliders, but I think it's fine for them just to go in here. And I think if they make a mistake, they can just reload it, in another window. Like if they mess up with the code. So I thought that I'd have them work in groups, and like if they found this to be they can do whatever they want, right? They could pick one of these, and then together, like choose parameters that they like, and then call it that's what they, that's their little design. And then write something about, this is like, it's supposed to be the naive description of what they see. Like, how do they describe them? Oh, look, this one is not, this is one of those cases where it's sort of broken. That's kind of fun.
It's not supposed to stay there. It shouldn't.
Yeah. So, okay, so one of the issues is that even if they pick the parameters and then they show us it live later, it could be different every time, because this has to do with where I picked those target points, right? So one thing we could do is have them videotape the one that they like, and post the video.
They could. So what we did so far, Naomi, is Penelope set up a Google slideshow that each breakout room group, they could copy and paste the code that they change. Like, they could just copy and paste it and put it in there. That's one way to do it, because that would also preserve it. If they copy and paste it, then they could copy it back in and run it, right? That would be like saving the program. Or they could do a screen recording. It's up to you. They could do both.
Is that so I was originally thinking of the first idea. In fact, they don't really need all the code. They could just
copy the values from that, yeah.
The values, like this section or something, unless they change more than and that could be fun, because then we could all just try their numbers rather than seeing a video.
Okay, so we'll just do it like that in the slideshow.
Actually, I think that's nicer than seeing a video, because then we get to try it and then we experience the difference that can happen. Like, this is pretty cool, right? And we kind of broke the code in a sense that it's never getting close enough to call it having found this target, and it's in this closed loop, right? It's just cycling around. It's just kind of weird. I don't know what the maybe
I'm not sure if code keeps the position of the tracker point, the yellow circles. I think that would change like every time you want to run it. You have to draw those manuals.
Exactly. So I think, but that's why it's kind of fun. Like, we'll go in and we'll all run group number ones, and we'll all get slightly different behaviors because we'll have different target points. So I think that could be kind of fun. Like, this might happen to somebody, and it might not happen to somebody else. And they might, so at first I was thinking that we want to see exactly what their final run was, and we should record it. But now I think it could be kind of neat. So they'll describe just the kind of motion that they got in words before Amy. So then Amy's presentation is going to be like, they're going to be moving, but they're also going to be learning notation and languages for describing motion. And so what we want to do is, after her presentation, is then go and revisit what they did. And it could be really nice that we all load in the code for group one, right? Parameters for group one, and then we all run it, and we see it, and we'll see it differently because we'll have different target points. And then the idea is that we'll try to discuss and use the language that Amy has presented to do a better job of describing it than we had done naively before learning that language, right?
So Naomi, I'm editing the empty slideshow that Penelope made that Raphael and I are going to distribute to the students. I put in 2 things based on what you just said.
Oh,
you see it. Right. Is that all we need to have in here? That's what they're going to do?
That's great.
Okay, so they'll just input words and then input code.
But you should do it for like each group.
We have 6. I'm gonna copy and paste this, but I just wanted to make sure that was the right thing.
We have 6 groups. Okay, so only 6 groups?
That's what I was told. 6 groups of breakout rooms.
Let's see.
6 breakout rooms.
Okay, that seems like a lot, but I guess that's fine.
There's
groups of 3 and 1 group of 2.
Isn't that what that is? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what you want? Okay.
That's perfect. And Raphael, you can plan how to do the breakout room.
Yep.
And then
what I think would be a little bit problematic would be, like, as Morgan noted earlier, like students log in with their workstations and they have the screens to like assign the breakout groups automatically.
We're going to tell them not to have those. That's what I thought we discussed. Penelope emphasized. We put it in the email. I think they're not going to have their workstations on today.
Raphael wasn't on that email.
Oh, okay. I thought he was in the meeting. We talked about it. Never, so that's the plan.
So can one of you remember to tell them that?
Yeah.
How can you remember to suggest that? Thank you. Yeah, that's a really good point. So what about like us? Will we be able to come and go into the different breakout rooms?
Normally,
Or do we just let them be? Maybe we just let them be and not bother.
you can do either. You decide. We are able to, if we are the hosts, navigate them freely. So you will be able to move between them.
Okay.
Or you could be in them or not in them at all.
Okay.
So Raphael, in that case, what we will do is have a breakout room for any instructional people. So there's not like the main room will stay in the main room. Then all the students will be in the breakout rooms. The main room will be where Naomi, Raphael, and others are. Okay.
Okay. And I'll send a note to Amy so she knows exactly how we have this organized. Or maybe I can even get online before the class starts with Amy so she know that. Yeah. I mean, she has this, right? I'll send her the Google slide link just so she.
She has the invitation to the calendar appointment, which includes the Google slide link and everything else, but you can certainly send it to her again. Why not? Yeah.
Right. So that's like the big there are a bunch of things going on today, right? There's so who's gonna lead this shell presser? Is that
Sigrid is going to be there.
Sigrid, is she gonna be there?
She said she would, I thought.
Okay. I guess Penelope could also do that.
She will be there.
Or maybe Raphael, you could do that.
I'll be there. I'm not being there.
Okay.
I only won't not be there if I'm not needed. So.
Right. Well, you sent a note saying you were taking this week off.
Well, only if I wasn't needed is what I meant. I was asking. I wasn't saying I was taking it off. I was not sure. So I will be there too.
But Raphael, you. I mean, we can leave that, right? If Sigrid doesn't show.
I think Sigrid said she will be there. I will connect for the beginning of class. Do let me know if you want me to lead the shell viewing and how long this can take, she said this morning. And then Penelope replied to say that it will take about 15 minutes at the beginning of class. And so it's assumed that she might be there.
Right, okay.
For that.
So Penelope will be there too.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I'll switch gears to this movement module. I have that 45-minute lecture with this couple of little fun we'll do in the middle, balancing stuff. Okay, then I'll switch to this other set of slides. So I need to send you both sets of slides. And I'll do that shortly. And so that they get up onto Canvas.
Are you going to send them to me like shareable? Are they PowerPoint or Google Slides? Okay, so we can just share like I can export a PDF from it. Is that how you would send it to me, or you'll send me the PowerPoint?
Yeah, I'll just send you the PowerPoint.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not very big.
That's fine. There's not a lot of embedded video and stuff in it.
Yeah, I went through them a while back. I just want to make sure that there's nothing. Oops. Yeah, I mean Penelope already had them loaded in, but those were like the old ones.
Yeah, I feel like that's not the right one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to take a quick look and see if there's anything I need to update on both of them, because there might be directions that we're not using anymore, you know. So, and then we have, okay, so then we have this breakout room story. They post their description and their parameters code, and then we have a little break. And then Amy, right? Oh, so that's kind of nice. So at that moment, we can, with Amy, look at what they posted, right? So she'll have a little bit of a sense, because she's going to try to work it into the end of her story.
Yeah, is Amy's going to kind of take the lead from there in a way, right?
Absolutely.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's this assignment at the end.
After the break, okay.
No, the assignments is at the end.
No, I was just going back to Amy. I was looking at.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so then that's all great. Okay, great. But yeah, Amy's going to be there the whole class though. Like she's going to be there.
Amy's going to be there the
1:30.
whole class.
Okay.
Yeah. So then we have all these things that we wanted to watch.
Not in class at all.
Yeah, there's watching and reading. Yeah.
Bye, Adam.
Right. And that's so we'll just tell them about that. And
So is that? Do we know if that's on Canvas already? I assume it is. Those links there. I can double check.
I have no idea.
Okay, let me look at that then.
I don't think they are.
Okay, so we didn't need to get those on.
Well,
I can put them on.
Penelope's normally pretty good about that. Movement.
Oh, here's what I remembered. Okay, look at our schedule. So we were worried about having enough time to review the 6. This is what we did. Okay, Raphael. Sorry, this get you screwed up. So I'm already starting to think like, oh my God, how is Amy going to do her hour? And then we're going to talk about 6 projects. We've shifted it to Wednesday morning at 1:30. I mean, Wednesday at first thing, because we just aren't going to have time. I think to go through 6 different things, we want to spend a few minutes and have them. So we, because Amy can't probably be there on Wednesday, so we are going to have to listen and learn from her presentation so that we can help lead this discussion at 1:30. Right. So this little notion about revisit how to describe emotions from earlier. Maybe Amy will say something about it, but we're actually going to go back to and play around with those 6 different things that they post today for the first half hour next time.
Hey, can I ask you, Naomi?
I think that's great. And also, it does seem to work really well to start with, let's look at what you've done, each day, rather than just start with a lecture.
Naomi, would you mind going into Canvas with us while we have your attention right now? Can you go in Canvas? Because I want to make sure there are a lot of things in Canvas that may or may not be exactly what you expect them to be, and I want to make sure they are or aren't before class. So not about the 3rd as much as like today. There's in under courses in the published courses. Do you know where to go to find our modules inventory?
I'm just clicking on movement.
So for some reason, I'm not seeing that screen. It looks like you're sharing. Would you mind unsharing your screen and then resharing your screen with the Canvas tab? If that's what you're looking at, because it was not refreshing.
I opened it in a different tab sort of deliberately.
Sometimes it doesn't do that. I guess it does. Sometimes it does show you when you switch tabs. Can you? I just want to see.
A different window.
Oh, a window. Then, if you would share that, I would. That's great. So then, what I want to make sure is that you see there are links in there. So there's the.
So here's the schedule they're given today.
And it looks like that's kind of right.
Oh, I see. So they have these.
They have all this, right? This is what you want.
Right. It's just that they don't have the slides yet.
The slides aren't, so if you hit next.
And for both of them.
Yeah, but I want to make sure I need to update what is in here, right? This is not what you want.
What is this?
Well, I don't know.
Oh.
I mean, this is what you made, right?
So maybe it's fine. Let me just look.
Okay.
I mean, these are the old slides. But I don't want to run them like this, but okay.
Well, you can play it. This is not how you'll run it. You're not running this.
How do I play it?
Well, you're not running this. The students can download it, or you can full screen it. Hit the full screen on the right in the corner. Oh, it still doesn't let you do it? Well, that's not what I would have thought. Yeah, that's weird. So
because it's not so useful that way, because they go on top of each other.
Yeah, that's annoying. So, but this is again not for you to. This is not.
How do I can't click on these links.
Well,
I'm not going to use this.
Yeah, this is just for them as a. This is not.
If they download it, will they actually get the links then?
So the one thing I looked at here, if you look at it at the top, is if you hit escape, you can click the download right at the top. It says download, and then it also lets you click alternate formats, so when you download
Oh,
it,
it's a PDF.
but the PDF has the links, and then but it also lets you click other formats like HTML might be linkable. So, but anyway, this is all I'm asking is, do I need to change this upload, or is this the one you want the students to have? You'll share your screen and show whatever you have on your PowerPoint. You're not going to use this.
Probably want them to have the PowerPoint version because it's really frustrating that I guess you could go like this.
Well, if you download it, they open. I did find that out.
Oh, if you download it just as a PDF.
Exactly. Yeah. For some reason, the viewer is cruddy.
Okay, got it. I'm just gonna do that. Oopsie.
Yeah. So now they should work, right?
Perfect.
Is that good? That's what you want. Okay.
Do you know Russ work? This is really fun. All right, I get.
So then, I just want to make sure the other things in here. If you hit next, the most important one is this one. Under the bottom. Well, I don't want to stop you if you still need to look at the slides, but we can update this. So I'll update this if you send me updated slides. Then this is what we were just talking about. You were saying at the end of class, they won't look at any of this stuff, but they will be presented with it as stuff to look at between now, right? Between now and Wednesday.
Yeah.
And that's what you
Oh,
want.
so yeah, and I'll be able to put this up, right?
Yeah.
That's perfect. Yeah.
And that's all you wanted for today.
Steering lab is not here though. We got to get that up.
Steering lab is here.
Where is it?
It is.
But it's a slideshow. There's a few slides.
Well, you have to click on the steering lab in the schedule.
Oh.
So if you go back to
this, so I do need to update that because we don't have this anymore.
You might as well, yeah.
Yeah. So is it okay if I just send you an update to this in a few?
Yeah, I can update this easy. This is what I was planning to do. And everything else in the schedule, I think, is fine.
Right. Yeah. I think also. So the steering. But yeah, no, there are slides here. Where do I get to the slides?
No, the steering is what you're asking about, right? Right. If you click on that, it'll take you to the steering demo, the P5JS.
Yeah.
No, I have slides that go with it.
You have separate slides that go with that.
Yeah, I have a little slideshow.
Yes, I remember that. I will put it up, but I guess that's on here.
Let me also double check if it's the most recent version that you have. I'm just going to look at it.
I don't have that. I don't have the slides for the steering demo.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe Penelope must not have had it either. So I just need to. I can show you what they're going to look like.
All I have is what's in the the timeline sheet, which has does not have a slideshow for that.
It does not have the slideshow. I think because Penelope couldn't find it in the old stuff. I'm trying to open it. Why is it not open?
What are you trying to open? I can't see your screen anymore.
I'm just trying to open my PowerPoint slides. The PowerPoint is not even opening. I think something happens when I use all this online stuff. Like my fan goes on. It's just like so much. Maybe I'll get out of the Canvas. I'll get out of the Canvas. Oh, I'm gonna get out of that. Application not responding. So I'm going to quit out of PowerPoint. Thanks. That doesn't have to. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to open my steering wheel. And I'll just show it to you so you can see what's coming actually. So, all right. So I'll send you this one too as soon as I have a chance to just. There we go. Okay, so this is just a few slides. Yeah. I guess that's probably not going to change much. Right, so I just sort of show the X direction, right? So here's the mover, here's the target. This is the difference between the target position and X. and I'm showing them how acceleration is, this dial, right, plus this dial. Maybe I should just, we actually are using Vx target is 0, right? But I wanted to show them because you could have a moving target, right, in general. And so then I wanted to show them the context of the feedback loop, what's going on here, right? So like these are the desired position and velocity. And I can just tell them that we set it to 0. So that then you compare it to your measurements, right? Because they've already learned all about feedback, right? This is the feedback loop. And then you apply a rule, right? And then you actuate, and that goes to the mover. And it's a closed loop, it keeps doing it, right? So then I explain that there's a spring and a damper between it and the target point, and the response will have an oscillatory component with frequency omega, which is just the square root. I want them to understand what these dials are, right? Or if you want to think about it in cycles per second, just divided by 2 pi. And the damping is governed by this sort of non-dimensional parameter, which is just a half of the other dial, right? When we have this equality, we call it critically damped. So this gives them sort of a simple, just algebraic relationship between the 2 dials, because then I show them, like, here's that critically damped case. This is what position X is doing as a function of time.
So, Naomi, before I lose track, this is not on Canvas, and we don't have this slideshow right now?
I just said I'm going to send it to you.
You are? Okay, I wanted to make sure.
2 slideshows. One is for the lecture.
Got it, okay.
And one is for the steering lab.
And this is the one we haven't had at all. Okay.
You haven't had it at all.
Okay, I wanted to make sure. Okay.
Perfect, thank you. Yeah. Sorry that we hadn't gotten this to you.
That's fine. I'll put it up as soon as we get it.
Yeah, so I think this is probably going to be fine. I might just change a little thing and Village Take Biswa's name.
Oh, yeah, that person.
Helping with, he helped make it, so maybe I'll just leave his name on there. It doesn't really matter, right?
I thought Atish made this steering lab.
No, Biswa made it.
Oh.
To that version that we're using.
Oh, okay. He was helpful too, I thought.
This one was.
Okay, great. So that looks great.
Yeah. So that's good. Maybe I'll just add that we'll make. I don't know. Hopefully this isn't too notationally heavy, but what this is nice is that you can see when K2 is 0, you're going to just oscillate back and forth and never get there, right? When K2 is really large, you have so much friction. I mean, it's friction, right? You're just slowing it way down, and then you get these in betweens. You get some oscillation, or this is the critical value where you get no S flow. Just like the initial little jump. But that's velocity. You just it's very smooth. So
please help to understand the equations like rapid solo context.
Right. Oh, so I do have to I do have to change this last one. Or I do explain the 2 different ones, but then the exercise is different because in the past Rebecca has done this Laban story, not Amy, and we used to do it before. So I had them create things based on this language and try to think about what movements they wanted to create. That's how I had it this time. Last time we met with Amy, we decided to put it afterwards, so which is fine.
And Rebecca is, I hope, doing well. Maybe it could be revisited also at some other time. But
well, no, I mean this is what Amy's going to do. So
okay.
Yeah, so it's. So I just need to update that. Okay, so this is helpful to me, so I know what I need to do now. But hopefully that's helpful, Raphael, so you get a sense of what I planned. I don't know. So can you tell me? Sue said she talked about springs, but she didn't really talk about like a spring constant and a damping constant and the kinds of different oscillatory or not oscillatory that we need to get, or did she?
I don't remember that. I think she just talked about this constant as like stiffness term, but
Okay.
but she never did about damping.
Okay, perfect. So I can make reference to this, because I thought it'd be nice to make reference to what she talked about a little bit, so that this K1 is exactly the same thing. It's that stiffness, right?
Did you see her slides, or do you want me to send them to you if that's helpful?
I did not see them.
I can send them to you really quick.
Okay, great, thank you. All right.
So I think that sounds like the day is set up. I can
Yeah.
update these slides. I guess class starts in about an hour, hour and a half.
Yeah, yeah. I'll
it-
send them to you as soon as we get off and I have a chance to take a quick pass. I just wanted to because Raphael missed our meeting. We had a meeting with Amy just to kind of plan things, but we ended up doing more planning, so I wanted to share with you, just so you knew it was coming. Yeah, sorry, there's so many moving parts in this class, but I appreciate everything you're doing. Yeah, so I think, I'm just looking now at Wednesday. So as I said, I think I'm only now recalling that we had realized we weren't going to have time to do this whole revisiting. It's just going to be too much. I think Amy will maybe talk about it a little bit, and but that we should come in and the first half hour next time, it'll be kind of fun because we'll all get to look at those 6 projects and we also have all those readings to discuss. I don't know, maybe that will play into we can do both, talk about, we'll figure that out. And then I have this collective motion slideshow and another P5 lab. So this is also builds on the previous one, except now it's feedback where we're interacting with one another, we're responding to one another. And so then we have this activity. First, we're going to do it with everybody. It's the one that we played around with, remember?
Last Monday, you were there.
Yeah. And so we did that. So Daniel, Penelope, and Amy and I did that again a little bit. And, what we're going to do is take eight of the students, and all of us are going to do what we did on last Monday is hide non-video participants. So we'll only see those 8, and they can pin. We'll give them who they pay attention to, and they can pin that person. And then I'll do that little sending them through the chat, little secret instructions. And we talked a little bit about maybe doing things that are symmetric because it's complicated otherwise. Then we'll let the other 9 do it. So they each have a chance of being in it and then watching it. And then we might talk about what it felt like a little bit. And then we're going to have them go into larger breakout rooms, so just 4 breakout rooms, and have them just sort of play, totally riff on the idea. They can pass things. They can, they can do whatever they want. They can use whatever they want and create a little set of rules and a little event and practice in their rooms. And here's where we actually wanted them to record their piece. I think Daniel suggested that we could just use a quick time recording of the whole one of the students' screens, right? They can just record their piece, right?
What we're going to do, Naomi, I'm sorry.
Turn to class and present their locking event.
I just wanted to say that because I don't want to get confused with the language, the only thing that we want to say is that don't use QuickTime. QuickTime is what they could use if they're on a Mac, but they're all on PCs, and they're just going to use, we'll just use the term screen recording, and I'll send an email on how to do it for them. It's a shortcut. It doesn't utilize QuickTime. It just does a screen recording. So that's all.
Thank you. That's perfect. Yeah, perfect.
That's Wednesday.
Half
Okay.
an hour to do that. Yeah. I mean, again, we're always wondering whether we have enough time for all this stuff. But, worst case, we don't get to see them, and we'll have to talk about them a little bit next time. but so this is why we had to move the real sense of motion capture to an assignment. But the idea is that maybe we can just write down the instructions for that too. So then they're just gonna play with it over the weekend. And it's really nicely matched with the assignments because there's Amy's piece, but we're also having them watch ghost catching and biped. Right.
This is also something, by the way, that I encourage you at your own discretion to confirm is in Canvas correctly, because
Okay.
because there might be some, I'm pretty sure Penelope's on top of it, but I'm just implying that you might as well check what's there.
Right.
And then,
So right.
that's
So-
March 3rd.
Perfect. Yeah. I'll do that.
The reading discussion board, and it's Babyface, The Ghost in the Machine by Ann Dills. That's all that she has right now, that she updated today for
Okay.
the 8th.
Okay. So there's 3 videos to watch. One is Babyface. One is Ghost Catching. And one is Biped. So we need to get those up there. But
Yeah, that's not there right now. And the link is
yeah,
broken. so.
well, we have a little time because that's the assignment on Wednesday for the following Monday. And then there's an essay about it. So one is a Merce Cunningham piece and one is a Bill T. Jones piece. The second one's Cunningham. And they use motion capture. And this is really interesting article, this Ann Dill's article that sort of talks about like what do you lose when you watch motion capture as opposed to actual human bodies when you're watching dance. And, then there's something else from Miss Jacobs Pillow that Amy wanted them to watch. And so then we come in, we can have some discussion about all of that that they were doing for homework. And then Amy's this is her day. She's going to talk about her, where she got to where she is, her path and her work. And then she has this kind of movement exercise. The way she talked about it was like, humans, human translating motion, and then we're introducing the Sphero after she does all her stuff. She's going to talk about her work. So at the end of the day, we're going to introduce the mini challenge, which is what they're going to do on the 10th, which is to create a movement piece with their little mini Sphero, this little guy.
Yeah.
And
So yeah, Ralph got one.
there's an emphasis on not having to, we're going to let them just run with it. But the idea is, the prompt is merely to create a movement piece with this little guy and, design a set, a stage, right? It could be interactive. They can be involved in it. It'll be a group, so it could move from one person's home to the next, right? And to the next, and to the next. And it could involve, like we sent them a little net. Daniel picked up all these really cool materials like foam and sandpaper. So they can lay out like a little stage. They can use blankets in their room. They can use make it try to roll uphill and all this kind of stuff. But they should do it as a team, and they should have some idea. And again, they can record it. They should record it because
This is the mini challenge. I mean, well, that's the actual.
mini challenge.
This is the Wednesday.
We
Yeah.
decided that we probably won't. We're going to probably talk about it when we get back after break because, again, we don't want to squish their time. We want them to really have plenty of time. We don't have to cut out a whole hour, especially if I don't.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a good plan. I think that's all great. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, and so it's the end of the day on Monday the 8th that we're going to have like an intro to just working with the Spheros, right?
And Raf, sorry.
And telling them the
pitch
prompt
for the prompt,
and
yeah.
introducing them to telling them who their mini challenge groups are, so they'll have the sphere, so that they can actually do a little planning in the last few minutes.
To like group up. And Raf, I would just suggest, we haven't talked about this, but you can either download the Sphero EDU application on your Windows desktop that we sent you, or use it on a tablet. Raf, but if you want to learn a little bit about how the blocks coding works, that would be helpful for us if during the tent students have questions for either of us.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna look into that. No, it existed. I thought it was only the app.
No, it's a desktop app. Yeah, and it connects to your Sphero from your desktop. Because we don't assume that the students have an iPad or an iPhone. I don't want to assume that they have anything. Yeah. So, Naomi, the only other question I have about any of this is that, I wanted to make it available to you to do motion capture of yourself. If you want to, I can help you with the computer I sent you. If you don't want to, you can just send it back.
Oh, no, it'd be great.
You do want to do it of yourself.
Sure.
Oh, okay. I didn't understand that.
Well, I don't know. I'm having a little bit of whiplash because you didn't. You said I'm going to send you a computer, then you say I'm going to take it back, and
Well, that's because it didn't seem like you needed to do it in class. The only thing I thought was that my imagination was that we do motion capture in class, and you'd want to do it in class with everybody else. Now it's over the weekend, so you can still do it on the laptop I sent you, but it's not. But we're not doing it at all in class, is my understanding.
correct. There's just
okay.
time. They're going to be doing it.
That's
in
fine.
class if they want to.
Okay, and so you also can do it in class if you want to, is where we're at with it.
Yeah.
And Raf, you have that too now.
So I guess do you want me to send the?
Well, no, it's fine. You can use the laptop I sent you. I just didn't know if you wanted it, and I didn't want to assume you did, but I wanted to make it available to you to have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. I couldn't really follow your email.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's
but now it's clear.
Okay. So I think we're good. I'm ready.
Just one quick question. If I take my PowerPoint and I save it as a PDF and send it to you, we'll still get the links, right?
Yeah. You could also just send me the PowerPoint. You might as well just send me the PowerPoint. I can make a PDF of it and double check it.
Perfect.
Yeah, just send me the PowerPoint.
All right. So I'll do that right now. I'll fix those and send them to you.
Okay, and I'm
I
updating
have to
the.
make a note that I need to double check that we got everything. So Wednesday's assignment. Let's just make sure we got everything for today, and I'll think about that later.
Yeah. Wednesday's links. Wednesday's Canvas stuff just needs to be double checked. Between now and Wednesday. That's the only other thing. I updated a few things just now, like I added some links to the Canvas thing, but I want to make sure you look at it too. So if you find time, I know you have a busy week.
Okay, good. All right, so I'll go do this. Thank you both. This is gonna be fun.
Okay, see you at 1:30.
See you at 1:30.
And let me know if Amy is okay. If you talk to her before now, and then she has the links, she should be ready to go. I think. Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks. Bye.
Okay. Bye. See you, Raf.
See you.